Good morning, class. Today we are going to discuss about this particular poem, an elementary school classroom in a slum. An elementary school classroom in a slum has been written by Stephen Spender. We are coming to the introduction of the poet. Stephen Spender was an English poet and an essayist. Spender took a keen interest in politics and declared himself to be a socialist and pacifist. Why pacifist? As we know that at that time there were many wars, battles, and struggles. So he always talked about pacifism, the peace and tranquility. So he was a socialist by nature and he was a pacifist also. In this particular poem, an elementary school classroom in a slum, he has concentrated on themes of social injustice and class inequalities. So, further, we are going to take a very short uh, understanding the theme which has been discussed or raised by the poet. Social injustice and class inequalities is the main focus of this particular poem. If you visit a slum area, then you find that the unhygienic setup of the slum area is really worst one, and so the poem also described the unhygienic setup of slum which is away from air and light. And there, what are the conditions of children living there? And so it has been, the poet has discussed about the pathetic condition of children living in slum. Above all, education is really important for everyone, but these children really need the ray of hope of education. So, how important is education necessary for these children has been discussed in this particular poem. Moving further, the poet had here is an introduction of this poem. At first, I want to tell you that for a better understanding of this particular poem, we must have a clear picture of slum area. If you enter into any slum area, even you have a good look of slum area in different movies, then you will find that the slum area is densely populated area. Houses are built intermixed. There is no place of, there is no any way of letting light enter into the house. There is no provision of windows and outlet. So the house and the places or different kind of the structures of have slum area have no provision of light and the air. The lanes are very narrow and the drainage are open, which are stinking because no one is going to take care about the lanes and the drainage. And if you find the condition of the people living in that area, you may term that the people are living a very inhuman condition. So this first point should be taken care, the picture of the slum area. Second, if you come to the topic, if you go through the different stanzas of the poem, then we will find that the poet has used a poetic device, imagery. Imagery comes from the word image, but it is not any picture image, but the images are evoked with the help of words or phrases. So, this poem is full of different images, and we should be aware about this one. This will help us a lot to understand this particular poem. Let's move to the introduction of this poem. The introduction of poem is very simple. The children of an elementary slum school look pathetic and miserable. These children belong to the dirty world of the cramped holes, houses in slum area, and in that particular school, many maps are there. So the map of the world on the wall symbolizes the world of the powerful, rich, and important people. Here we find that the poet has described the two different worlds. The world of children living in that particular slum school, their condition their conditions are pathetic and miserable. The another world is the world of the powerful, rich, and important people. So the poet hopes that the gap between the two worlds can be abridged provided condition these children are rescued from the slum. Moving further, so let's begin with the first four lines of this particular poem. At first, I am going to read it out, and then we will discuss about the paraphrasing or the meaning of these important words here. So let's begin. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor. The tall girl with her wet down head, the paper simming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky hair. So let's begin with the important words here. So write down, jot down important words. First important word is gusty. Yes, gusty. Gusty means blowing strongly. तेज हवा you can say. Next line, like rootless weeds. So rootless. Rootless means uprooted, जड़ सहित उखड़ जाना. Weeds means useless wild plants. In Hindi, it is known as the kharpatwar. Next word is pallor. Pallor means pale face, yellowish face. Pale face describe the disease condition. If a person is suffering from a particular kind of the illness, then his face turned pale, so that is pallor. Next word is weighed down. Weighed down, the down due to heavy weight. If I put a weight of 30 or 25 kg upon you, then it can be, then I find that your head is going to be down. So this is the weight down. And another word is paper simming. A sheet of paper is very thin, so paper simming, it means like a sheet of paper. It means as thin as a sheet of paper. And rat's eyes, eyes like rat. It reflects that. Sometimes you can say paper simming boy with rat's eyes. Rat's eyes are the metaphor here. It means rat's eyes reflect the unhygienic, the anxiety, as well as the timid condition of the boy. We will discuss in the paraphrasing. So let's continue with the paraphrasing. Far, far from gusty waves, the children's faces. If you look at the faces of the children, then it reflects that these faces are away from the fresh air. Away from the fresh air. Why? Because these children are living in slum, and this slum area is surrounded by big buildings, big constructions, narrow lanes. So They are away from pure and hygienic environment, and due to that the faces of the children appears that they did not get the fresh air. This may be the first explanation. One more explanation: far, far from gusty waves, there are waves of development across the world, but these children are away from the benefit of these developments. So, the poet says that children faces are away, children faces are away from the fresh air, or they are away from the benefits of the development which the other children living outside of the slum area are getting or enjoying. Like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor. Here, very good imagery has been used. We have already seen the faces of the children. Now we are coming to their hair. The hair torn round their pallor. Pallor reflect the face of the children, but what is the color? Yellow color. The face of the children reflect that they are diseased one, they are living in a unhygienic condition, and if you discuss about their hair, then their hair is like rootless weeds. So rootless weeds we have already discussed. Weeds are what? Useless wild plants. And being as a farmer, for the safety of your crop, the farmer remove these weeds through roots and under the sun rays. The weeds completely dried one, and then you find that what is the condition of that those weeds. Similarly, the poet had described the hair of the children, the hair which had been scattered over the face of the children, which appears yellowish or pale in color, and the hair is completely dried one, uncombed, and unkept one. So, here we have a very peculiar picture. The faces yellowish in color, and over that the dried, unkempt, and uncombed hair is scattered over that particular face. So, this is a general description of this particular children, the children living in this class. Here again, the condition of the children in slum school is pitiable, not good. They are living under an unhealthy condition. They are unwanted and away from the wind of development. Children faces show that they don't taste the fruit of development, or they are away from the freshness of the life. Face of the children has been covered with untidy, unkempt, and uncombed hair. Pale face of the children shows that they are undernourished, less fed. The hair is dried and entangled as if it is uprooted weeds. So here uprooted weeds means unwanted wild plants which had been taken out from the field among the crop plants of wheat or corn, etc. These weeds turn dried under the sun without nutrition as they are without roots. Now the poet is being special, specific. So he is discussing about a particular figure in that class. The tall girl with her weighed down head. The poet had discussed about a particular figure. So the first figure is the picture of a tall girl. What is the condition of that girl? The poet says that there is a tall girl in the class. Her head is down due to the burden of the life, of the responsibility of this, of her slum area, of her domestic works, and probably the head is weighed down out of poverty. So the poet again says, behold, there is a girl in the class who is tall and who keeps her head down. So the question is, why weighed down? She is burdened with load of poverty and domestic responsibility. Sometimes we can say that it describes the gender inequalities. Now we return to the class again, then find that the poet describes about a boy too. The paper simming boy with rat eyes. What is the condition of this boy? The boy is very thin, so it has been used as the boy, the paper simming boy. Boy is very thin, like a sheet of paper, with rat's eyes. Rat's eyes, it needs explanation. The first point is that his eyes, rat's eyes means his eyes are bulged out, which describes the pathetic condition of the boy. Second point is that if you look at a real rat, then you find that rat comes out in search of food but behave timidly and at the same time full of anxiety that someone may attack him, someone may catch hold of him. Similarly, the poet described the boy's eyes. So the boy's eyes timid like rat, and the eyes express the anxiety of the child whether he will get food or not. So the simple explanation is that the children are exhausted and unhealthy. So the boy is very lean and thin. His eyes are like rats. It means the boy's eyes reflect that he is full of anxiety and probably he is in search of food. Now we will discuss the stunted unlucky here in the second part of this particular video.